Hey fellow knitters, welcome back to the channel. Happy Valley Knits, I'm Debbie and I live, work and knit in the north of the UK in West Yorkshire. So I've had a real hectic couple of weeks. I'm a bit bushed to be honest, so I'm doing a relaxing bit of knitting. Luckily I've gotten onto that part where it's just stockinette. You can just knit. But yes, I've been to Copenhagen actually, not this weekend, last weekend, been to Copenhagen. And it was wonderful. And I managed to get to a few yarn shops, so I will make a nice video on that for you at some point, just not got the time at the minute. But then since coming back, work's been very, very busy and life has been very, very busy. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just a bit bushed. I'm a bit worn out. So I'm just having to slow down here on Sunday and do some knitting. Hello, you coming to say hi? My cat Simba is here, everybody. You coming to say hi? So I'll show you my progress on my Amy Christoffers Springerle. I managed to catch that, I have. One moment. Bear with me, caller. I actually cast this on at New Year and did quite a bit of the colour work, but then I just stopped for some reason. I think I just had colour work fatigue. I'd done a couple of sweaters with colour work and I had some fatigue and I just stopped. However, look how beautiful this is. And a couple of weeks back I thought, come on, you've got to finish this colour work portion. I was kind of up to here. Sorry, I'm not showing you, am I? I was kind of up to here. And so I realised that my neck was getting quite tense. I thought, what's going on? And I realised that the 4mm needle I was knitting on and this Drops Charisma, which is actually quite, well, it's quite a thick DK yarn. You know that there are differences, aren't there? They're not all equal. It's quite a thick one. So I was sort of hunching up, I think, a lot doing this colour work. So I decided to go to 4.5mm. I thought, what's the worst that can happen? Let's just try. Come on then. Let's just try. I don't know if you can see Simba, my cat. Yeah, say hello. He likes to come and say hello and help. There you go. That's my cat Simba. He's lovely. So yes, I changed to 4.5 around here. And all that tension went. So, you know, I think you've got to have the right needles for the yarn. It's not just the gauge, is it? Now, it does mean that this bit here will be a little bit bigger, I think. However, I'll be okay getting away with that, I think. So yeah, I'm loving it. It needs blocking, obviously, but I'm thinking it's looking lovely, and I'm really pleased with the colours I chose. Now, the original, I'll put a picture of the original one up, this pattern. She just uses two colours, but I have used a nice plum, dark grey, a pink, a lilac, and they're all Drops Charisma. So that's quite good, isn't it? They're all Drops Charisma, and I thought, I've got them in the stash, let's use them up. And by the way, I'm on the yarn ban now. I have bought so much yarn. Firstly, I went to Copenhagen, and of course I bought yarn. A week before that, I went to Springerle Sweater festival in the UK, and I bought yarn. I have got enough. So I'm definitely going to be using that up for the rest of the year. But yes, I'm happily on this nice stockinette bit now, so I can relax and just knit. And this grey is Light Pearl Grey by Drops Charisma. So I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to be a bit more chilled today and just knit on this as we chat. I do like this pattern, and I think the colour work is actually fairly simple. I would even recommend this as a first colour work sweater. Not a first sweater, you need to have been done some knitting and maybe a small project with colour work on, but actually this is fairly simple. It's very, very simple, but still produces a lovely pattern. So I think if you are someone looking for a colour work, your first colour work sweater, you can't really go wrong with this one. It's a nice top-down sweater, quite an easy make one left, make one right increase. Actually, I think it's just all make one when you pick up the bar in between. So it's nice and simple. And then you get onto the colour work, and the chart is about 40 rows, I think, maybe 42. Can't remember off the top of my head. But you only ever have 2 colours at once, and it's a fairly simple 2, 2, 2, 5, 1, 2. It's very simple. You certainly can get into it quite easily. And eventually you end up with a 12 pattern repeat, 12 stitch repeat. Starts off smaller here and then grows larger. But yeah, so I cast this on at New Year, had that trouble in the middle and just stopped, but now I've picked it up. I'm on a larger needle. So, you know, effectively from here, when I split for the sleeves and body, the 4.5, it's sort of like going out a little bit, but that's fine for my pear-shaped body. Love that. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing, it doesn't have to be straight up and down, does it? So I'm quite looking forward to this sweater. I'm not even planning to go really fast and finish this because summer is coming. It's spring now. The days are getting warmer. Oh, excuse me. And this is going to be quite a nice winter jumper really for me, because the Drops Charisma being quite a thick DK and this part having stranded colour work, it's quite a thick, warm top. Tell you what, do you want to see the inside? Let's have a look. Not weaved in any ends, so excuse any mess. But yeah, there's your inside. As you can see, you strand it across very nicely. And that's making a nice thick double layer. So it's going to be a lovely autumn and winter jumper, I think, for me. So I'm going to pick it up when I need a mindless, not thinking about knit at the moment, and just keep knitting in the round with that stockinette. Sometimes we need that, don't we? Sometimes we just need that. So I'm going to just do a bit of knitting now. Maybe if you've got your knitting with you, you just drink a cup of tea, sit back, cup of coffee, do a bit of knitting. So a little bit of knitting, a little bit of a wind down time. I certainly need it today. I've got a couple of other things on my needles you might be interested in. I'm doing some socks. I'm doing some summer socks, and I picked this yarn up at the festival I went to, Springerle Wool, and it's just lovely. I've got a yellow and a green, very summery, and these little neon nips, hopefully you can see that. These lovely little neon nips that are throughout the yarns. So I've finished one, I'm on to the second one. Let's see where I am. Yeah, I'm doing an afterthought heel. I haven't done that in a long time. I just fancied doing an afterthought heel. It was very simple. You do get that hole though, don't you? Now I did pick up an extra one so I could knit two together, but it still made a hole. I had to actually go in and do a little bit of stitching, you know, make a sort of, you know, with my yarn and needle, I had to sort of make a stitch and then put it in, pull it together, which it did, and it looks okay. So yeah, I'm on the second one now, just going towards the toe. But my aim is, this is just like a vanilla sock pattern, you know, I just know in my head because I've done quite a few of them now. But my aim is on the outside here is I'm going to put a little honeybee. I'm going to duplicate stitch a little bee on. I didn't want the colour work all the way around. It makes for quite a thick sock. I do love colour work. I've done lots of colour work socks, but that double layer for a summer sock, it's not really for me. So I have got a lovely little bee pattern that I've made, and I'm going to be duplicate stitching on each side, that side and that side, a little honeybee. So they are going to be a lovely little pair of summer socks for me. And I think I've shown you this before, but anyway, let's have a look. These are the little mini skeins that I've picked up. Hopefully you can see those. I just think they're really fun. They're not actually sock yarn, but you don't have to knit with sock yarn. It's good to if you want to, but you don't have to. You can darn your socks. Now, these sorts of socks, I don't go on a hike in them, etc. I wear them out around the house in the summer when I need to, in a pair of sandals or slippers. They're not going to get really hard wear for those ones. If I was going to have a hard wearing pair, I'd just get 100% wool, proper like Jameson and Smith, 2-ply jumper weight wool that's going to be quite robust and stand up to that. I'm not sure about the nylon merino mix because for winter socks, because merino does wear out. It's going to wear out much quicker than a wool would. But you know, it's a matter of choice. But yeah, you need to try it out and see what you think, see what works for you. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm almost finishing those socks, so that's good. And I've only got one other thing on my needles right now. I do have some plans, but I'm going to be knitting. Oh, and by the way, just before I show you, this is my project band I got from Woolstock, which is the most fabulous shop in Copenhagen. And obviously it's got the I knit so I don't kill people. We all know that saying. I knit so I can wind down, I think, for me. But what I have done is I've cast on for the Anker summer shirt by Petite Knit. Actually, I think it's Anker, isn't it? Sorry. But all I've done so far is what am I trying to say to you? All I've done so far is the neckband, but it's coming along. Look at this beautiful yarn. It's really gorgeous. This is one I have shown before on a previous video that I picked up from Springerle Wool, Eden Cottage Yarns, and I picked these beautiful shades up. This is called Drizzle, so it's a lovely off-white with a beautiful grey through it. And I quite like this blue, this very sort of blue that I thought went really well. So I am contemplating on my Anker shirt doing the first part of the ribbon in the main yarn and then putting a stripe in, the contrast yarn, then the main, then the stripe. Not sure. Or do I want to do it all with this one? This is how my mind works, by the way. I did pick this up to do the Friday tea by Petite Knit. And then when I got it home, I thought, no, it's not right for that. It's actually quite a thin DK, this. It says 4mm needle, but it's quite thin. I'm knitting it on a 3.5, so I've put some extra stitches on the needle, and I might do an extra increase. I can do that if I want to make it fit me. But yes, it wouldn't have gone quite right with the Friday tee, so I will do that, but that'll be another type of yarn. So that's just on the needles now. I'll be working away on that soon. I'm loving that. And I love my project bag. Got to pick up a bag as well, haven't you? That was a great shop, by the way. I will do a proper video on the shops, but it had actually had a cafe in there. I've heard of it before, I've seen it on YouTube before. And when I got there were a lot of ladies and a couple of gentlemen there in the cafe portion, just sitting, knitting, chatting. And I think, if you lived there, how wonderful it would be. It would just be a beautiful hub for you to go and meet people, meet my like-minded knitters even. My friend and I did sit down and have a coffee there, and we browsed the yarns. It was wonderful, and I did buy some nice mohair. But that's for winter, it's not for now. So I'm going to concentrate on my summer knitting, because my other plan is to knit a few small neck scarves. Not the Sophie scarf. I have knit the Sophie shawl, which if you haven't seen that, please go back and have a look at my other video where I take you through that. But I have purchased the Bonnie and Clyde necktie pattern from Isabel Kramer, and they're great. They're both lovely. They both take only a small amount of yarn, and I'm going to start knitting those, because those, even with your regular t-shirt, it's just going to elevate your look, elevate the what you're wearing on that day. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to start those as well. So I am going to just wind down now with my stockinette. Just keep going with that for a bit, just while I allow myself to relax. Let my energy come back up that's been depleted over the last couple of weeks. And I hope you're getting some nice knitting time today. Anyway, I wish you all, as ever, a very happy knitting, and I'll see you next time.